doesn't quite fit. The 29
okay.
sticks out.
I was gonna say, you just stick, you don't remove anything, you just stick the ad
In there?
on top of the item.
Yeah, except that doesn't quite work because it's a little tiny
Yeah, I have one, if I reduce it,
بله همیشه داره
95%.
نکن پخشش نکن
You take the size that fits and stick to the top of it, you can do it.
Watch this. I have a better idea.
Yeah.
A nicer, even an amazing, more amazing idea.
Yeah.
You want to know what it is? Here, watch this.
It
isn't difficult. It's not as difficult. It's as
هر کسی که از من میپرسن که خب چطور بود هر کی گفت چطور بود زد یکی از راحت
چه انگلیسی بلدم
راحت بلدم
نه اونجا بلدم
Then you take your tape. This is great. Because it creates a very sharp border, a very decorative border. It's the same border.
That's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
I thought.
You shouldn't, but...
Okay, shall we go again?
Please.
Oh, it's working.
Yes.
So after this, the verse comes after, says now, you cannot claim on the day of judgment, you cannot say, oh, I didn't hear about this. A lot of people will ask you, say, what about a person who's living in Central Africa in the jungle and never heard of Muhammad or Jesus or anybody?
They always say that.
Yeah, this is a favorite question of some people. And they say, this person must go to heaven, you know. And you say, no, he has no excuse because he already witnessed God. And Ibrahim is a good example. You know, Ibrahim was just a child. And he went out and looked at the stars and said, this is my God. And then he reached God because we have the instinct. It was like being in the middle of the jungle. So every human being has that, fitr, exactly.
Heritage.
Oh, and then the next verse says, أو تقولوا إنما أشرك آباؤنا وكنا ذرية من بعدهم. Also, you cannot use an excuse, say, oh, it's my father and my mother taught me that Muhammad or Jesus or Ali or Mary are very important. And I followed them, I believed them. You cannot say that because you're an individual, you're an independent person. So that is not an acceptable excuse. You cannot blame it on your parents. I cannot blame it on my parents. And I cannot plead ignorance, and I cannot blame it on my parents. Because my parents taught me that the Sayyid al-Badawi will help you succeed in your examination. You know, go pray. Not my mother, my father did.
But why did they then say if you do something good, خدا پدرت بیامرزه؟ The
tradition.
No, the word.
Translate.
Like when you are a good person, they said, God bless your father.
God bless your father. And
Yeah.
if you're a bad person, they said,
لعنت
پدرت. Why?
Well, yeah, here you say you son of a bitch. No, excuse me. But I mean, what is the mother's fault? This is just a tradition.
Yeah, really, the
Like
mother
she said,
didn't have anything to do with it.
tradition.
The nicest thing to say is,
No.
when
you do something bad, they say, لعنت was your father.
Yeah.
And when you do something good, you say, خدا پدرت بیامرزه. God
Yeah.
bless your father.
No,
This
just
is
a tradition.
incredible.
Just tradition.
Okay.
So now, when Shaitan had this idea in his head that he can rule part of God's universe by himself, the angels didn't know what was in Shaitan's head. Only God knew. Now God had two choices. He can take Shaitan and wipe him out. But in that case, the angels will say, yeah, why did God do this? You know, our friend Iblis didn't do anything. So, as a mercy for the angels, God decided to expose Satan first, Shaitan. Expose him, show his real rebellion first. So how will God do this? He created Adam, the human being, from clay, this lowly material, mud. And then he told all the angels, don't prostrate before this creature. So they all did except Shaitan. He refused. And that's why I was rather sensitive to the story that ends up giving us the impression that he wanted to make sujood, but he couldn't. He didn't want to make sujood. The Quran said he refused. So these stories are very dangerous. That's why I'm completely averse to them. So Shaitan refused, and the angels. Now in the movie that I wrote, the script, all the angels falling prostrate before Adam, and then except Shaitan. So they look and they, Shaitan is still standing up. So they all see he is exposed now.
Someday, inshallah.
We have it ready. The title is King of Chaos.
King of Chaos.
Yeah.
Isn't that a great title?
Yes,
Is that a great name of a movie?
It's
or what?
true.
I love
This
it.
is chaos on this earth.
But that's a great title, you have to admit.
So now Shaitan is exposed. The angels know what he is. Now Shaitan is eloquent. When Adam and they called her Hawa? Yeah. When Adam and Hawa made a mistake in heaven, they repented. They asked God forgiveness and they made tawbah. And God accepted their repentance and said, okay, we'll send you to the planet Earth and test you and your descendants. And if you make it, you come back here. Those who don't make it will go with Shaitan. But how come Shaitan was not pardoned? Why Adam and Eve were pardoned but not Shaitan was not pardoned? Because he continued to think, and he still thinks, that he can rule part of this universe with God. So he spoke to the angels. Yeah,
He spoke to the
he's still trying. Well, of course he's stupid. From the beginning he was stupid. And God exaggerated his stupidity by giving this tiny speck of land. And God took care of even the provisions of the people and everything. And he told them, just take care of them. Anyway.
Maybe then Shaitan.
No, but he refused to make istighfar. He refused to repent. He said, no, I can do it. He said, okay, make me a god and I'll do a good job. Shaitan said, I will prove to you, he says to God, I will prove to you that your creatures will not worship you alone. Yeah, will not appreciate your power. They will always put someone with you. They will not say God alone. And that's why he's proud of all the human beings who say Jesus with God. This is why we have this criterion in the Quran. Allah wahdahu. And then the next surah you remember says, إِذَا دُعِيَ اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ كَفَرْتُمْ وَإِنْ يُشْرَكْ بِهِ تُؤْمِنُوا. When God alone is called upon, you refuse. But when God and somebody else, anybody else, then you're happy. Different people. With the Jews it's different, the Christians are different, with the Sunnis it's different, with the Shias it's different. Every group of them, they want some name besides God, they are happy. You say, La ilaha illallah, you say, Muhammadun Rasulullah. You say, I don't want to
say anything else.
Yeah, I want to say La ilaha illallah. What is wrong with you? I want to say La ilaha illallah. You say, no, say Muhammad Rasulullah. You're going to tell me what to say? So it's just some other name with him. Yeah.
It just came to my mind, I don't want to forget it, about my children. They are really lucky, right?
That's right.
Because they start with worship.
But you are luckier. Yes, you get more credit than they are lucky.
I was a worshipper before though. I was
you,
Shia.
Right. That's why you get double the reward. See? For them, you already brought them up saying God alone. So they are very lucky.
Mana in the Quran session we have in Masjid, she was so mad at Azar because Azar was talking about the clean, and she knows very good now because she really hard.
Yeah, your children are very lucky, but you are even luckier.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, see, it takes a lot more credit when you grow under the influence of putting idols with God, putting names with God. And then you break away from this, you get more credit. The Quran says that. Said, I will double the reward for you. And I will substitute all the sins of the past into credits. So every time, yes, we all do. So every time you called on Hussein or something, that will be changed into credit. Because of your repentance.
Inshallah.
So, Shaitan did not repent. And he continued to think that he can rule part of God's kingdom by himself. And this is why he was not pardoned. So even worse than that, he stood up and spoke to the angels and told them, God created me and he gave me all these powers. And I believe that I can help God and be his assistant and rule part of the universe by myself. This is what I think. What is wrong with that? How can I fall prostrate to this tiny creature made of mud? And some angels agreed with him.
Some angels?
Yes. So we had a division. So there's the shaitan and his assistants. They became jinns, yes. And this is in Surah 38. Surah 38 says قُلْ مَا كَانَ لِي مِنْ عِلْمٍ بِالْمَلَإِ الْأَعْلَى إِذْ يَخْتَصِمُونَ. الملأ الأعلى is what? The highest society, God and the angels. يَخْتَصِمُون. They divided. Now in the movie, after this happened, I had a ball of light came and took Shaitan and carried him to the planet Earth, to his prison. See? This whole universe. And also all the other angels who agreed with him, they became jinns. Yeah. That's right. So this is why he was not pardoned. Adam and Hawa were pardoned, but not Shaitan, because he continued to insist that he can rule part of the kingdom, God's kingdom, by himself.
Rashad, I have a question. But when he said that most of them will not believe in you except your servants, which are totally devoted to you, he was right, and in fact that's what is happening.
Sure.
But why did
he said? But God wanted that. See? God wanted to give him constituents to show. I mean, look at the disasters, the accidents. Remember the girl that came here in wheelchairs? Yeah. Okay, this is Jennifer. This is a girl who came here briefly. She was studying religion, but she was 17, 18 years old, a freshman at the university. Beautiful girl. And she was riding in a car with her father and mother. And there comes a drunk driver, smashing their car. Her mother dies and her father almost died. His aorta was cut, they operated him, and yeah. And she is crippled for the rest of her life.
Terribly too, just completely, just
yeah,
a little motion of the hands,
from the neck
but
down.
mostly from the neck down.
And she has become Muslim?
No.
She looked at it.
I'm telling you, this girl would have been healed if she continued to be healed. I really feel
right.
bad.
You know what, I think that scared her.
Just about.
What?
Yeah, almost.
Too much for her.
It's just about. His sister and his mother became Muslim. And now they're working on him.
Who's
yeah.
this? Who?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, isn't that something? Inshallah, inshallah.
And how did the Malaika know about the Adam and his children, that they are going to...
God told them everything.
Bloodshed and...
See, God told them everything. God told
them everything.
And he said that these creatures, the human beings, they will not see me. He said, I'm going to have a perfect test for Shaitan to prove that he is an incompetent God. And for this I have created the human race. They are people who have absolute freedom of choice. And those among them who side with Shaitan's opinion that I alone am not enough, they will be his constituents. We'll see if he can take care of them or not. Okay? So from the description of these conditions, the angel said, but this means that many of them will choose Shaitan, and then they will be divided and they will have wars and bloodshed. And God said, I know what you don't know.
And what was that?
That was before the exposure of Shaitan. He knew what was in Shaitan's head. You see, now we're going back.
That was before.
Yeah, before Shaitan was exposed. You see, because they said, you know what they said? They said, أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك. Are you familiar with that verse? He said, نحن the angels, said, and we the angels نسبح بحمدك.
Yes,
we glorify you, we praise your glory, ونقدس لك, and we hold you sacred.
Exactly.
Now the angels, when the angels said this, they were not accurate, because there was one of them who was not doing this. They didn't know.
That's it.
So God said, إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So God said, I know what you do not know, which is something. Also, this is why he said, didn't I tell you that I know أعلم ما تبدون وما كنتم تكتمون? Didn't I tell you that I know what you declare and what you know what كتم? كتمان?
She did.
وما تكتمون.
نعم.
Conceal. You declare and what you conceal. ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم ما تبدون. Declare وما كنتم تكتمون. And what you were hiding, because it became exposed now.
And
The whole thing is in the Quran.
The key to the world, to Adam.
The key to Adam?
Yes, the words.
The names, yes.
The
God taught him all the names. Yes. This is how we invented these machines, those videos, and the cars, and this light.
Everything unto the
In other words, God gave Adam knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
You want to take
where were we?
I gave him knowledge.
Me tired? I haven't started yet.
Then
Where were we?
the shaitan, no, the malaik, they didn't know.
Yes. So now those shaitan became confined to this universe, this lowest universe,
And then in the
until the period of test is over, and we already see the results. It is total chaos. And I give the example of this girl. It's a tragedy. A young girl crippled for life, a drunk driver, the woman dies, the man is injured, and this is the kind of thing. In the movie, I have her story in this movie, and I have the drunk driver going there, and one of Satan's assistants comes in the car and takes over the drunk driver. And tries to I'm showing that Shaitan is trying to have a perfect world, but he can't. So this Shaitan is trying to steer the car away from the other car where this girl was sitting, but it's too late, he can't. But because he took over this drunk driver, he protected him. So, which happens a lot.
Yeah,
So the car is completely smashed, and this guy opens the door and walks out, without a scratch. This drunk driver, even though the car is completely smashed. And it happens, you see it a lot happen in accidents.
When the film will come out,
I don't know.
Fantastic.
Probably 5 years, 10 years, I don't know. When God wills, but we have it ready.
Would you please answer this question? I want to have that in the tape. When people idol worship and ask the other humans, the saints and everybody, please give us this or heal us, who is doing that? Answer.
We say they're immediately out of God's kingdom. See, the minute they ask anybody other than God, they're out of God's kingdom, they belong in Shaitan's kingdom. And they take themselves out of God's mercy. One of it's very simple things that take the people out of God's kingdom. There's the most prominent mullah in the Arab world today is Sheikh Mitwalli Sha'rawi. His name is Sheikh Mitwalli Sha'rawi. And I have a mutual friend, one that is his friend and is my friend. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to arrange a meeting between Sheikh Sha'rawi and myself for 3 years now, and just never happens. Something happens, like I was supposed to meet him.
It cracks me up.
I was supposed to meet him in Washington, for example, one time. Then his daughter got sick, so he went to see her somewhere, so I couldn't meet him. And then he came to Washington last January. It was last February, this last month. And then my father got sick, so I went to Egypt. And I couldn't meet him. But anyway, Sheikh Mitwalli Sha'rawi is almost revered by millions of Muslims in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and those places. He's a holy imam, This Sheikh Sha'rawi. And this is how he begins his speeches. And if I ever meet him, I'm going to just stay with his opening statement of his speeches. He says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وخاتم النبيين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Now the minute he makes that statement, he's out of God's mercy. And he is not guided in his speeches. He has to be on his own. Because he's immediately in Shaitan's kingdom and he doesn't even know it. Because he says, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is perfect. And then he mentioned somebody else's name, the Prophet Muhammad. But not only does he put somebody with him, he calls him Ashraf al-Mursaleen.
Ashraf al-Mursaleen, yeah.
Yes, the most honorable messenger. Immediately he broke the commandment that says لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا. Immediately he broke the commandment that came out of Muhammad's mouth.
Translate what he
Yeah.
said.
Yes,
I know, I want
Yeah,
to
but for the tape.
Uh-huh.
In other words, he called them Ashraf al-Mursaleen, the most honorable messenger. So immediately he broke the commandment that tells us do not make any distinction among the messengers of God. And this is repeated in other places in Quran.
Yeah.
But in verse 285 of Surah 2, it is followed immediately by the statement وَقَالُوا سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا, that the believers say, we hear and we obey. Finished. We will not make any distinction among the messengers. But here is Sheikh Sha'rawi saying, Ashraf al-Mursaleen wa Khatam al-Nabiyyin. This is okay. He is Khatam al-Nabiyyin. Sayyidina, our master. Sayyidina Muhammad. Yeah. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. So I was going to just hold him to that opening and tell him, Sheikh Sha'rawi, you are out of God's mercy. Immediately when you break that commandment that came out of...
That's what he does.
So sad.
Call
But
us, we're going to come and
isn't this what the
take care of
Quran
you.
is? I mean, isn't it logical? Okay. Where are you going?
I should go there because I don't want you to have the
Well, God bless.
Quran in the Quran.
Okay.
Dukhan is coming. Oh no! Here comes the Dukhan. We have two Dukhans now.
I don't mind it, but this is nice of you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we were saying people, when your question was people who call on Jesus and Mary and Hussein and Muhammad and Ali and all this, the minute they call on them for any reason, they're out of God's mercy. They are immediately in Shaitan's constituents. It's just as simple as that. And
So all these people, when they are in
and
the
I was
church-
doing it for years and years.
I know, I was doing
So
it too.
thank God that I saw the light and came out.
So all these
Yeah.
people in the churches, it shows on TV.
Yeah.
They shake the head of the woman and said, Hallelujah.
Yes.
Jesus healed this person and start walking. That's
Yes.
Shaitan healing that woman, not Jesus.
Not even Shaitan healing them. This is all fake.
So
Yes.
there is no reality.
No, they had many TV programs, 60 Minutes, and some other TV programs. They showed that all this is fake.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
I'm happier.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody has any question? You finished with the creation.
No, there's
No,
something
go
I
ahead.
want to say. Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's something that I want to say, but I forgot. So I'm gonna remember it, inshallah.
It was, did you finish, you said I have it in the movie, send the shaitan with the ball, God said send the shaitan with the ball on the earth.
Yeah.
Did you finish that?
Yeah. See, Shaitan and all whoever agreed with him were sent to this earth. And Surah 38 talks about Al-Mala' al-A'la idh yakhthasimun. So when this feud happened, we have 2 points of view. The one point of view says Allah alone. And this is God's point of view. And the other point of view says Allah and someone else. And now we look at the Quran and we find that the vast majority of human beings will side with Shaitan. Surah number 12, verse 103 says, وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Do you understand this? وَمَا means never, means not. وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ means the majority of people. وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتَ, no matter how careful, no matter how hard you try, بِمُؤْمِنِينَ, they will not believe. Most people, no matter what you do, will not believe. Okay? This will not even believe in God.
You talk very kindly, they don't believe. You talk very rough, they don't believe either. That's
Yeah,
true.
no matter what you do. Yeah. وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Okay, so now we know that the majority of human beings will not believe in God, period. They just don't believe in God. Now the minority of people believe in God. Now we take this minority, look at this minority in verse 106 of the same surah, 12. And it says, وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ. And the majority of those who believe in God insist on putting other names with God. So the majority of believers in God are mushriks. Therefore, the people who believe in God are really the minority of a minority. And this is a statement of fact. It is not a law or a commandment or an order. It's a statement of fact, and we see it around us. How many mosques in the world did you see where only the name of Allah is honored and worshipped? How many? None. A church, a synagogue, a mosque, a place of worship, a temple, any place. You don't find any. You find one in Tucson, and one in San Francisco, and one in scattered around the world. But these are very rare. So it is true that وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ. Except with other names with Allah. They do not believe in Allah alone, in other words. They do not believe in Allah without some other names with Him. Mary or Jesus or Muhammad and so forth.
I have a question with this they ask me all the time. I want you to explain to them. Okay, they said God wanted to show the angels Shaitan is arrogant and rebellion. That's why he created Adam and his descendants and the earth. Why God did that to us? And we have Shaitan in our hand and we have God. And it's hard to choose. So why we call God is justice?
That's a very good question. And it is perfectly, the rule is that God does not inflict an atom's weight of injustice. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَظْلِمُ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ. This is the law. So, why did God do this to us is an invalid question. It's not valid because we are the ones who did this to us. Every single one of us was asked, would you like to have the freedom of choice or do you like to submit outright? And you and I and everybody said, no, we want the freedom of choice. Every single individual.
On that conference day?
Yes, every single person.
You mean the same verse 172 and Al-A'raf?
No. This is verse, the end of Surah 33.
The end of Surah 33. Okay, Al-Ahzab.
إِنَّا عَرَضْنَا الْأَمَانَةَ
Okay.
على السماوات والأرض والجبال.
Okay. That's freedom of choice there then.
Yes. فأبين أحملها وأشفقنا منها وحملها الإنسان. Every human being, you and I and Faribash and Sunabar and Susan, every human being on earth was asked personally, do you want the freedom of choice or do you want the outright submission? And every one of us said, we'll take the freedom of choice. You see, in that time, we thought it's very easy. You know, said, oh, it's very easy, we're going to choose you. We know you're the master, you're our Lord, you know, it's very easy. We underestimated the power of Shaitan.
That's right. We still do.
Well, of course. I mean, even then, in that dimension, we underestimated the power of Shaitan. We said, oh, who's going to be stupid enough to choose this Shaitan, this creature of yours? We're going to choose you. It's very easy. Of course, we'll take the freedom of choice. And that's why it says, إِنَّهُ كَانَ ظَلُومًا جَهُولًا. And then the human being was stupid to do that. Because we underestimated the power of Shaitan. The power of Shaitan, he is so tricky. And he dupes us, you know. And you've met hundreds of people and you see the amount of resistance when you tell them God alone. You say Allah alone. And the resistance is just too much. And a lot of them are people with common sense and logic and everything. You tell them God alone, and the resistance is just fantastic. And the majority don't make it. 99.9%. They cannot break away from all the traditions and customs that they inherited. It took me 3 years when I wake up in the morning to say La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. 3 years to get rid of Muhammad and Rasulullah. Just one day it dawned on me, I said, I'm going to wake up on the day of resurrection saying, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And Muhammad is a human being who is worried with me, you know. On Day al-Hashr, you call it Hashr? The day of Hashr, Yom al-Hashr? Mahshr. Yeah, on the Mahshr. See, the Prophet Muhammad, Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah number 21, it says, the Prophet Muhammad and Moses and Ibrahim and all of them will be in Mahshr, they'll all be worried. You know, what will happen to us?
No.
What I'm saying is, when they come to me, for example, and say, you disrespect the Prophet Muhammad, but not by not mentioning his name in your namaz. If they come to me and say, you disrespect the Prophet by not mentioning his name in the namaz. So the answer to this is, disrespecting the Prophet, or Ali or Hussein or any other prophet, is a forgivable offense. But shirk is not a forgivable offense, is the only unforgivable offense. Putting other names besides Allah is an unforgivable offense. Because the verse that is repeated in Surah number 4 twice, that says, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bih. God does not forgive shirk. Wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalik liman yasha. And He forgives anything else. Murder, disrespect of the Prophet is forgivable. Anything is forgivable. But the only thing that is not forgivable is shirk, putting something next to God. So I am taking a chance on disrespecting. If you want to accuse me of disrespecting the Prophet, you cannot accuse me of being mushrik, of putting something besides Allah, because I say all my namaz with only the name of Allah in it, from beginning to end, only God. Therefore, you cannot accuse me of shirk, which is the only unforgivable offense. So if you accuse me of disrespecting the Prophet, I welcome that. This is a forgivable offense. But I tell them, for your information, I do not disrespect the Prophet. This is what the Prophet wants. And this is what every Prophet wants. La ilaha illallah, God alone. And this is what we find in Surah 21, verse 31, I think, where it says, every messenger I sent with only one message, La ilaha illallah. Now, notice there's something that we take for granted, by the way, that La ilaha illallah, which is the motto of Islam, or the principle of Islam, La ilaha illallah, begins with La. La ilaha illallah. No other thing with Allah. And you notice that in the Quran, every messenger goes to the people and says, Allah ta'budu illallah. My message is, Allah ta'budu illallah, that you shall not, a negative, you shall not worship except Allah. It doesn't say, Ana abudullah, worship God. Because people worship God and go to hell. They worship God and they also put some other names besides Him. And this is why the consistent message in Quran is, Allah ta'budu illallah. It's a negative commandment. That you shall not worship except Allah. So this is the accuracy of Quran.
Now you know why you always keep telling me, Mary, don't say that, don't bring them. I said, I can't help it. There's only God. You have to talk only about God, because I knew it. It's a responsibility. I felt for you guys. Now
This
you
is
know
why.
how I felt.
This is why the reward is so fantastic. In other words, you say La ilaha illallah and you do it. Only Allah is in your mind and your life and all your thoughts, and no other names with Him. You're a king or queen on earth. You enter God's kingdom where there is no disease, no headache, no problem, no traffic tickets. Really, perfect life. I find this the most difficult thing for the people to believe. And that's why I wish you were here for the last khutbah on Friday. I was bragging about everybody in this mosque. You know, I say, the people here, because we have beautiful babies, alhamdulillah, mashallah. You have to say alhamdulillah, mashallah. And I was saying it with every statement. And we have people who left the masjid and they had deformed babies. I mean, things that we see with our own eyes. And it's because when you come, especially places like your masjid, this masjid, when you come to the message of God alone and you reject it, Whoa. You see, when you come to the message of God alone, the Shaitan hates you. But he cannot touch you because you're protected. You have guards around you, other angels.
Exactly like her. The story of her I told you about driving.
You have angels around you, guarding you. When you say God alone, no other names with him.
That's right.
But then Shaitan is very angry with you and mad at you because you rejected his point of view. But the minute you step out of God's kingdom, he's waiting for you and he beats you up. And it's really disastrous. In the movie that I wrote, there's a rabbi in Boston, Rabbi Kushner is his name. He wrote a book that says Why Bad Things Happen to Good People. This is the title of the book. And of course bad things don't happen to good people. Never. This is God's promise in the Quran. And this is a new age. We are now in a new age where things are straightforward. You stay with God and everything is perfect. Not in the old times where you had to go and prove yourself by giving your life and being killed as a shaheed for God. This is because now it's all mental. We are educated people. There's a lot of science and the whole thing is by logic and by thinking. So once you make a decision logically to be with God, then you are proven and you are immediately in God's kingdom and you're immediately protected. I'm forgetting what I want to say. It's very important. Okay, yeah. Rabbi Kushner wrote that book, Why Bad Things Happen to Good People. He had a child that had the disease called progeria, rapid aging disease. The child became aged very fast. In 14 years, the child died. So the rabbi and his wife were suffering, and the child was suffering, was miserable. And he mentioned it in the book for 14 years. And in the book, his explanation of why bad things happen to good people is that God is unable to control the world. That God is crying with you. And God really wants you to be healthy, but He just can't help it. There are too many people, Yeah. Yeah. And he goes to ridiculous length. He says, are you willing to forgive God? And realize His inability. Just like you forgive your parents, etc., etc. I mean, it's just blasphemous. And you can see exactly why his son came like this. Now, here is a rabbi who preaches the worship of God. Alright? He preaches the worship of God. And Satan is angry at him. So in the movie, I have somebody like him preaching the worship of God. And then this woman and her husband are crying, coming out of the church, and asking him that their son was hit with a car and died or something. And they were crying, and they're asking the priest or the minister, why did this happen, and so forth. And he says, believe me, God is crying with you, and this is out of control. In other words, I'm taking it from the book of the rabbi. And then next, I saw the rabbi sitting in his home, watching the TV with his wife, and his wife is pregnant. And then Shaitan comes in through the wall, and he goes into her body and plays with the baby. In the script. And then the baby is born deformed. Yeah, and so these are things that we actually see happening. So that's why bad things happen, because he blasphemes against God. Do you think this rabbi is in God's kingdom? Will he be protected? So the idea here is that Satan is the cause of all these disasters. First, his incompetence, his inability. Second, his deliberate bad actions against the people who do not side with his opinion. Once they step out of God's protection. So, and this is why there is, you say, the retribution is doubled for people who see the message. Once you see the message, and you see the God alone, there is a double responsibility here. You accept it or you reject it. If you accept it, you continue to be protected from Satan, Shaitan. But if you reject it, then you gave up God's protection, and Shaitan will play havoc with you.
Dr. Khalifa, I have a question. It's different with the subject you're talking about. It's about the salat. Before the salat, ablution is really important, that's for sure. But if we just get out of the shower, do we have to do it again?
No, you do the ablution in the shower. You go through the motions in the same order.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's good.
See the idea, remember the order?
Uh-huh.
The face,
Yeah.
the arms, the hair,
I
and the
always
feet.
do it, but I heard some people said in hadith it says only ghusl janaba is the only thing.
No.
But
Even in Ghusl Janabat, you have to do the
you have
wudu.
to do it ablution,
Yes.
the direction.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing I have is about again the salah. In the midnight, when you wake up and you want to do the salah, do you have to do in any direction, or you can do anything you want?
Direction of Mecca, yes.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean, for example, you can do 2 rakats, 4 rakats, whatever you want.
Anything.
Anything. And another thing is, can you do it like kind of meditation? Just sit straight toward the Qibla and just meditate with God?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Which one is better in Quran, within the Quran?
Whatever you feel like, it's up to you. Whatever your heart tells you.
But you have to get out of the bed and get out and do it. Not in the
No,
bed.
you don't have to do anything. It's not required. That's
Can
extra.
you do it in the bed?
Sure. I mean, that's not required in the middle of the night. It's not required. That's extra.
Just the extra.
It's beautiful. Yeah. That's not required.
When you pray for people, for example, for the war, for the word, for the people you know, okay, the praying, how it's supposed to be, the praying. I know it's only asked from God, but how? Just mention the name or what? I don't know.
Okay, the prayers are given in Quran. The prayer for others, God teaches us how to do it. Okay. It says, for example, اللهم اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا. So it's always, you cannot ask forgiveness for a mushrik, for an idol worshipper. Because the example of Ibrahim, he asked forgiveness for his father. And this was wrong. Why is it wrong? Because God said, I do not forgive the idol worshipper. And you turn around and you say, please God, forgive this idol worshipper. This means you are not accepting God's decision not to forgive, never to forgive the idol worshipper who dies. By the way, a person who is an idol worshipper at the time of death. For example, I was an idol worshipper for a long time, but I repented. I discovered what the truth is. But if the idol worship is maintained until the time of death, then this is where it is unforgivable. It's finished. This guy, yeah. Even the Prophet Muhammad, and this is upsets a lot of people. He was an idol worshipper, and this is in the Quran.
It says in Quran.
See, and this shocks them. You know, they refuse to see it. They don't want to see it.
But he repents, though.
Of course. In fact, this makes a better teacher out of him, because I understand the mentality of the mushriks.
Yeah.
I understand how the people go before the saint and pray to the saint, because I did it. And for me it was very valuable education. So this makes a better messenger out of Muhammad, that he was just like the rest of his society. Yes, in Surah 40, verse 66. And, no, it says, I was stopped from worshipping what you worship when the clear revelations came to me. I mean, it's 66 of Surah 40.
Okay.
They refuse to believe God. You know, they know better than God. They say, no, Muhammad was pure and beautiful. He never did anything like that.
No, it says very straight in the Quran.
It's some crazy guy, drunk transient. It says, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. Like you say, ضَالًّا. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. Right? So he was ضَالًّا, and God guided him. But they refused that. My father wouldn't accept it. I say, was he ضَالًّا or not? He said, no, he wasn't. So God says he was. Do you know better than God? You know,
It's
I tell him.
amazing because he knows how to read Arabic. And And I always
Exactly.
beg him to go learn Arabic more and more.
Makes no difference. What did I tell you? See?
Yeah, I know. He told
My
me
father,
that.
there's nobody who knows Arabic better than my father. I mean, he studied the Nahu, the grammar, everything that has to do with the Arabic. He memorized the Quran since he was 8 years old. He never
What
lost it.
he says about that verse?
وَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى? He said he wasn't.
But that says
He
it.
refuses. I know. I said, you're telling God, I know better than you. I know Muhammad better than you.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen to this question. You had this question some times ago. When somebody died.
Oh, no, I didn't finish that
You
point.
didn't finish that.
I was
Okay,
saying that if God says that I do not forgive idol worship, and then you turn around and you say, please God, forgive this idol worshipper. This is why Ibrahim was reprimanded when he said, please God, forgive my father. So the proper way for this situation is to say, please God, guide my father to the right path, to the right way. You can pray for guidance, but not for forgiveness if the person is an idol worshipper. Like in the case of my father, I cannot ask for his forgiveness, because God already said, I do not forgive idol worship. So I can't go against God. I can only say, please God, guide my father to the right path. So this is an example of the prayer. And this is why when you read the Quran, the prayer in Quran for the others, God teaches us by saying, اللهم اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان. So they had Iman, the mu'mins. ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا. It's always consistently. So you can ask for forgiveness to the believers. The little things that we do.
The believers who are dead?
No.
Yes, it could be for the believers who died.
Yeah.
Could be as long as you specify the believers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But didn't you say
But you
last
cannot
time?
name a person.
Yeah.
Because you do not know if this person is a believer or a mushrik.
That's right.
So this is why when the Quran teaches us, it makes it general. It says, اللهم اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان. Those who were before us, the mu'mins before us.
When one of our relatives die, or friend, or whoever we know, is it help if you just said yes, it helps to pray, but we cannot pray in the name of, like, for my father, for my mother, and say
No, wait. I didn't say it helps. I didn't say it helps anybody.
So okay, then I was confused.
You misunderstood.
Because you told me it doesn't help before.
Yeah. It doesn't help anybody. But,
because when somebody dies, finished.
Right. It's whatever he did.
You can do it.
It's whatever he did. It's very important. Dua is very important. I'll tell you why. You're saying, please God, forgive us and forgive the believers before us.
When I turn on the more extra lights, this
Sure.
one is enough.
Sure.
Yes, this is very important.
Yeah, the dua is very important. I'll tell you why. I read they have a question answer in a famous newspaper. Now you can do the other one, leave it the other one, so we can see the outside. Keep the outside light on.
On?
Yeah. This way we see if anybody is coming as well. And I will leave that. I will leave this on and turn this off. This is the best effect. Here's we have a queen turning the lights off for us. No, the other one. Yeah. Nice. You can say, please God, forgive the believers before us, because they were believers, and the believers are all brothers and sisters. God said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. So your real brothers and sisters are the believers, because even though you're not my sister, from my father and my mother, when you worship God alone and I worship God alone, we're going to be together forever. And my brothers and sisters were in the same house with me for 10-15 years. But a believing brother and sister will be for millions of years and for eternity. So this is the real brotherhood. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ.
Beautiful.
So when you say, please God, forgive the believers you're really praying for your brothers and sisters who will be with you in the same place forever, for a long time. The question was in the newspaper, why does God want us to pray to Him? Because God says, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. God says in the Quran, pray to me, and I will respond to you. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. So the question was, why does God want us, if everything is written down already? Your videotape, my videotape, from birth to death are written down, recorded. So why pray? That was the question. It turns out the importance of prayer is, it is a fantastic form of worship. Because, first of all, it indicates that you do believe in God. In other words, if you don't believe in God, who are you talking to? Please God forgive the believers. Who are you talking to? It indicates, it declares to Shaitan, God points at you and says, see, this person believes in me. Because nobody will pray to a non-existent, imaginary entity.
Yeah, like you.
Nobody will pray to God if they didn't believe. When you say, please God, give me $1 million. Okay? Even though it's a materialistic prayer, but it does indicate that you believe in God. It's the best form of declaring that the person believes in God. Please God, give me $1 million. Who are you talking to? To God. So this is the importance of dua. Please God, heal my sickness. Please God, remove the headache I have. So you're praying, it proves that you believe in God. This is why God says, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Because every action that we do, God is pointing at us and say, see, he believes in me. He worships me. Or Shaitan will add, say, see, he cannot worship you alone. They have to mention Jesus next to you. So to every person, this life is all for a test. Everything else is just a waste of time. Everything else we do. We are here for the test. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم. And God created death, because initially there was no death. But God created death and life ليبلوكم, to test you, put you to the test.
There are some people asking me a question about, we are going through the test now. And Alhamdulillah, it doesn't bother us at all. We're really strong now. But they are very worried about
the test.
Two of them, they've really been worried because they have a good life without any problem. And then they were asking, what's happening? Aren't we a good people? We don't go through the test? I said, yes, you are. But I don't know how better I can explain it. Can you explain it again?
Yes, don't ever ask for a test. Believe me, you're being tested enough thoroughly. Before you finish this life, you're going to be proven exactly if you believe in God alone, or if you believe in God and some others besides Him, or you don't believe in God at all. You're going to be completely. This is Surah 29, verse 2. It says, do the people think they'll be left to say we believe without being put to the test? Surah 29. Surah 29, verse 2.
Verse 2, yeah.
That's right. Surah 29, ayah number 2.
And even Surah 2.
So when
the same.
Of course, yeah. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. Everybody must be tested. But the test never hurts permanently. The test is characterized, there are tests and there is punishment. And the difference is the punishment can leave permanent damage. But the test does not leave a permanent damage. You don't lose a finger, for example.
You lose your money and stuff.
Yeah, you lose things. You lose $1,000. Then God sends you 10,000. After the test is over and you pass it, then God sends 10,000 to make up for that 1,000. So because the material goes and comes.
But you said
you destroy your car, or something, and God sends you enough money to make it up after you pass the test. So you can tell these people that if you are with God, you're going to be put to the test to prove the following: that you believe in God under all circumstances, rich and poor, health and sick, under all circumstances. Once this is established, there's a final test. Then you are appointed king or queen on earth.
And okay, then for example, if we ask for test, that's damaging.
No, don't ask for tests.
More?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking this for the people
Yeah.
they are in.
Don't
they're
ever-
asking me.
Don't ever ask for tests.
Don't you put us on the test record?
Yeah, there's the prayer. Yeah.
Okay, then if you ask God for the material and
okay.
the hereafter,
It's okay. Perfectly alright.
okay.
Remember I said because it is a form of worship and because it indicates that you believe in God, even though you're asking for $1 million or something materialistic.
And one more, the last. It is
Really?
Mahmoud for now.
No way. Yeah.
Mahmoud asked me about the different surah. I asked you already last night, but I want to refresh it again. And the verses, when you read the verses, some of them they're repeated so often, and some of them they are in a place. It's just changing the subject by the sudden. Why?
Okay. Practically every page of Quran says worship God alone.
Yes.
Worship God alone. Worship God alone. Every page. Is it doing any good?
Right.
Is it?
No,
It is not.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it's not. Still, the vast majority of people have to mention names of Allah. So this is why subjects are repeated over and over. So that when you open the Quran at random, say I opened it at random, right? And I read, it says, they said, "O our Father, pray for forgiveness of our sins. We have been really wrong." He said, "I will ask my Lord to forgive you. He is the forgiver, the merciful." This is Surah Yusuf, the story of Joseph. And it says, oh my gosh, it says here, the majority of people, no matter what you do, will not believe.
Yes.
Even though you do not ask them for any wage. For this is a message to all the people. And even though the heavens and the earth are full of signs, they pass by them totally heedless. And the majority of those who believe fall into idol worship. So every page in the Quran, so you get the message from here that you must worship God alone. That it is very difficult, that the majority of people flunk the test. They flunk the first test, the majority of believing in God. And then once they pass this test and they believe in God, then Shaitan works on adding other names of God. And when they pass this test, he divides them. Malki and Hanafi and Shafi'i and Sunni and Shia and so forth. So this is why there are certain subjects repeated in the Quran. It's to increase the chance of people seeing them. Like you saw now. You open the Quran at random and this subject of idol worship is repeated. Almost every page.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.